All right, we're back, and we're shooting this video. This video, we're gonna be talking about the linebackers, the last group of the day. Man, uh, showcase was put on, man. It was, it was like no matter which guy you wanted, you couldn't miss talking about those guys today, man. They were flying around the field. I mean, from the on-field drills to the 40s, man. It was, it was just impressive to watch. The linebackers ran faster and ran better than the running backs. Like, I feel like having half of the linebackers 40s were faster. It was it was
I mean,
shocking. It was surprisingly shocking,
the
man.
linebackers, honestly, the 40s were on par with this really deep receiving class. And that's kind of how I see them at this point. It's like we haven't talked enough about this linebacker class. I'm sorry,
Oh,
we haven't, but I feel like they just put the world on notice. It's like
yeah, man.
no. The linebacker class is probably just as deep as the wide receiver class, but they're not as heralded. But like they're just
Yeah,
as deep. Like these guys are gonna come in next season and like if you don't at this point as a team, if you don't invest at least one pick in one of these linebackers, you're dumb. You're dumb.
it's gonna
Like
be
you're
dumb.
dumb. You're just dumb. There's too much talent. There's too much talent to be had. Like honestly, after watching that, if the corners come out and they kill and they show how deep the corner class is, because I don't think it's that deep, a lot of teams got to look at trading back for picks. Like because you just there's just not enough picks to go around with this much talent. There's not between a
Yeah,
relatively deep offensive line class, a relatively deep defensive line class, a crazy deep wide receiver class, and now suddenly a crazy deep linebacker class. There's just not enough picks to go around. Like it almost feels like you got to get two or three of these guys just to groom. So that's how good they looked.
there's gonna be people that get like like a fourth round caliber linebacker in like the sixth round, and that's just gonna be there's gonna be so much value. There's gonna be so much value in the draft. It's just gonna be it's gonna be crazy to see like seeing some of these name people that we're watching now just drop and then just seeing people get them and just some of the names that I put down. I mean, we'll get to Isaiah Simmons and everybody in a minute, but even like the other people like Dante Olson from
Mm-hmm.
I want to say he was where is he from? Um,
Give me a second.
oh
Uh,
Montana.
I think so. It's
Uh,
either like
I
Montana
want
or
to see
Minnesota.
yeah Montana
Montana.
Minnesota. There you go.
Montana.
Then you had Willie Gay Jr., Dejon Harris,
Stud.
Malik Harrison,
Stud.
Jacob Phillips. Yeah, I mean,
Shaq
we'll just say,
Quarterman.
oh yeah,
Studs.
you really like Shaq Quarterman too. I mean, unfortunately, I mean Isaiah Simmons 40 time. Oh my gosh, like to be 6'3", 240 pounds, and have a 39.5 inch vert, and just test in the top group, the top percentile of pretty much every
Every category.
category, and then to go out and run a 4.39 40. Oh, just forget about it. Like,
Like this.
just
I don't
stop.
know who built him, but this is
Yeah,
like it's
who
like
built
seeing
him in a
Perfect Cell
class?
on TV when you're 11 and you're just like, what is this?
Yeah,
What is going
Dra-
on?
dig the Dragon Ball Z reference. Like, for when he was in his incomplete form to his perfect form, they're like, yeah, there's no chance of the Z virus being this guy.
Yeah, like this just
This is the
there's
this is
and
the
the
end of the
fact of
series.
what I love the most is that in his interview, they asked him where he's gonna play. All he said was, "You need a guy to stop the Josh
Travis
Kel the
George Kittle.
the Jordan Kittles and the Kelseys." And I'm like, so you're just calling your shot. Like that's just
Of course.
you're just straight up like I don't really care about everybody else, but I need to stop those two guys, and everyone else is gonna fall in line.
It,
Like
he checks the boxes though. It's like you need somebody to blitz. You need somebody to blitz. I got you. You need somebody to cover running back. I got you. You need somebody to cover slots. I got you. Tight ends. I got you. Oh, I can also
you,
play safety. Like what?
Like, what are you gonna play corner next? Like, I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised. Like the way he ran, he can he can play corner. He can
yeah,
play corner. Like he ran faster than Chase. Like he'd be guarding guys like Chase Claypool, and he smoked his 40 time.
like he took there. Like I think they ran the same one. I think did Claypool run a 4.38 and he ran a 4.39.
Yeah, something like that.
They're gonna.
What is going? Like, like it's one of those situations where it's like, oh, this guy's burning us. All right, put Simmons on him. Cool.
Yeah,
Simmons, we
for real.
need you to play. We need you to play. CB1 this whole game. Got you, coach.
Yeah, this is just where we need you to be. All right, cool. It don't matter to me. I'll lock him up. You need to play D tackle. I can do that. That's cool.
It's like, yeah, like we lost all our guys up front. We need you to push the pocket. What how big is our center? 230? All right, cool. 330? Got you.
Yeah, like it's this
I'll still
guy.
get you 4 sacks.
Yeah. Oh man. I don't know who's gonna get him. Like I said, I pray my Giants pick him up, but knowing us, we will do. We're all about the hog molly, so who knows what we're gonna do?
Yeah,
But
but that's the thing. Like there are hog mollies, and then they're just freaks. Like
yeah,
I think one of the broadcasters, I forgot who it was, said like the comparison was LeBron James, but they had to like rescind it because it's like no, he's Giannis. Like he's the Giannis of the NFL.
yeah, it was Schrager. Schrager said he talked to a GM and he said he compared him to LeBron. And the guy was like, no, he's not LeBron. He's Giannis. He's Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like he's not
Like
LeBron.
and
A
it's
physical
hard to
freak.
argue that. It's hard to argue it at
Oh,
this point.
a physical specimen. He's a freak. That's all you can say.
Like
I
the only thing I can think of is like if Chase Young is LeBron, then Isaiah Simmons is definitely Giannis.
yeah, yeah. It's without a doubt. Without a doubt. Like
It's a matter of where he goes at this point, like how much of that freakiness we're kind of gonna see, because it's like at this point the teams that can use him go. Like, I don't think he gets past Carolina if they stay at 7.
mm-hmm.
Um, I don't think he ends up in Jacksonville, but that's intriguing. I definitely don't think he ends up in Cleveland. That's intriguing. I imagine a piece like Isaiah Simmons on the Jets, like with the kind of guys they have, the linebacking core and the safeties and the front guys. Like forget the corners and the edge at this point. All right, cool. We need him
Oh
to play
God.
corner. We're gonna have him as he's gonna be our star edge rusher. Like I don't know. Like he's just
Uh,
that good. He's that good.
besides him, besides him, we had Kenneth Murray and we had Patrick Queen, who we really wanted to see, and they both had blazing 40 times, but unfortunately, they both had to pull up on their second attempt for the 40s, pulling their hamstrings, and we definitely want to see on-field workouts from them because they're both going to be. I mean, Kenneth Murray has a first-round grade on him. Patrick Queen has a first-round grade in some people's eyes. Other people have him as a second rounder.
He's a
So
first rounder.
I
I'm
think
sorry,
I
like that just
I think
solidified it
he's
for
gonna
me.
sneak in. I think he'll sneak at the end of the first round as well. But
Especially when you hear about
we'll
his
see.
story, when you hear about like who he is as a person, like that's a 15-year starter right there for you.
Yeah, his range is ridiculous. Just watching him in Alabama. That's the thing. And the funny thing is because Michael Divinity was in that group too. Michael Divinity
Mm-hmm.
was the starter. Divinity started over him until he got into some trouble, and then Patrick Queen took over for him. So it's like you don't want to see anybody get you don't want to see a college kid get in trouble, but once Divinity went down with his personal with his own problems, Pete Queen stepped in, and now he has a chance to be a first round pick, and Divinity is not going to be a first round pick.
Not
So
at
it's just
all.
crazy.
Divinity, I think I had like a third round grade on Divinity,
He
late third.
might be a third or fourth, and then you look at it's just crazy to see how the guy just gets his chance like that. He's making the
Yeah.
most of it. He's definitely, like I said, the guy, in my opinion, is a fringe first round linebacker to a definite high second round pick.
Mm-hmm.
We'll definitely see where he goes. Uh, yeah, Kenneth Murray is another one of the great stories. Um, Actually, I just learned about it today. They were talking about that him and his father adopted, or his dad, they adopted three siblings with special needs, and he's been taking care of them. And they've all been taking care of them his whole life, and I think it's just an awesome story. And a lot of people just became really big Kenneth Murray supporters, regardless of where he
Oh, for
goes.
sure. I'm definitely one of them.
Yeah, a lot of people just became really big Kenneth Murray. If not before that story, a lot of people after have become really big advocates and big supporters of his. And we wish that we could have saw them both perform, but the main thing for them is just to get healthy and rest that hamstring now and get that ready to go for pro day
Yeah.
and ultimately the NFL season. Besides those guys, like I said before, Dante
You can go
Olson.
down the list at this point.
I mean, me, I'll just stick to my people that I really thought stood out: Dante Wilson, Willie Gay
Mm-hmm.
Jr., Dejon Harris, Malik Harrison, and Jacob Phillips. Um, Again, everybody else, I think, again, it was another really solid group. I think all three phases, the interior, the edges, and the linebackers, all really solid groups. But Dante Olson I don't have the numbers on it, but he had like a really a good vertical leap. And I mean, he ran well, had a good time, and he looked pretty good in all his drills. I mean, he came from a smaller school, like you said, Montana, but I don't think it doesn't really matter at this time, and it doesn't really matter at this point in your career as getting an opportunity. But I mean, I think he went out, he made some play today. Uh, Willie Gay Jr. I don't think well, he started like 2 games in his career or something like that. And back in he went 4.46 40. He was flying back and forth around the field. Like I was saying, he's a little raw, but if he flies, he's gonna rock on the team. And so he could be like a starting backup for the next like 10 to 15 years.
For
Uh,
sure. For sure.
Deshaun Harris, I thought, or Deshaun Harris, I think he had just like good feet. And I think he worked really well in all the drills. Admittedly, I don't know who he is. I've never really seen him, or I haven't paid too much attention to him as far as his workouts and everything. I have to look up some type of tape on the guy because after this workout today, I'm really interested to see about more about him. Malik Harrison, I was looking at for a while, and
From Ohio State, right? You're
yeah,
Ohio State kid. Yeah.
I was looking at him for a while, and I think the combine for him answered a lot of questions for me as far as his speed and
Mm-hmm.
just his movement skills. I don't believe in a lot of these linebackers from Ohio State. Like some of them are kind of hit or miss to me, but I think he's gonna be pretty good next level. Um, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I can go on and on. I mean, I really like Jordan Brooks out of A&M. I really
Mm-hmm.
like Sean Bradley. I really liked Russell from Temple. You know,
Mm-hmm.
all people that I've talked about in previous articles that I've typed up. And, it's just good to see that they got recognition and they got a chance to show out in the combine. I think a lot of them made the most of it. Jacob Phillips is another guy, LSU, another linebacker. Like they need another one. I mean, between Phillips, Divinity, Queen, like
You
where
can
do you
see why that LSU defense was just so good,
yeah,
so good.
yeah, like it's ridiculous. But who are some people that stuck out to you
Uh,
that made you take
first
notice?
guy, first guy was Zach Braun from Wisconsin. A lot of what I was worried about with him because he's predominantly a pass rusher was what's that 40 time like what kind of speed are we working with? I think he ran like 4.5, 4.6, really good speed. Um, Daniel Bitwalu from Tennessee moved really
Mm-hmm.
well. He was always on your screen? It seemed like whenever he was up, like you always kind of had to pay attention because of how quick he moved, how great his feet were. His 40 time was really good. He's a really good athlete. I really like the fact that Jordan Brooks from Texas Tech ran because I think he's like a week and a half removed from like rotator cuff surgery or like recovery from his rotator cuff. Definitely
Yeah,
not 100%, but like he's just like, no, I came in here to run. Ran a really good time, really good time. We talked about Nick Cole in the past video, but again, he worked out with the linebackers. But like, is he a linebacker? Is he a DN? Is he a D tackle? We covered more of that in our last video, but like, he still was kind of there. Like, he was very noticeable. Willie Gay Jr. for me is, I just looked at him as like, this guy's an athlete. Like, he is so fluid, so strong. So he has great pop in his hips, great movement, great acceleration. Um, I just I heard them keep mentioning that you got to check the off the field stuff, which is a concern. And if he falls because of that, it's actually it's kind of sad because this guy looks like he could definitely be a second round pick. Like, just looking at him, looking at his game, I have to look more at his tape, obviously, but he looks like a second round guy. And he may not even, get picked, or he may get picked in like the fifth or the sixth round because of, off the field stuff that he had complete control over. Another guy, Terrell Lewis from Alabama. You can tell he's definitely an edge guy, but physically he looks great. His feet look good. You can tell, though, for a lot of the guys that I named, when you had the drills with the linebackers kind of stepping back in coverage and had to, like, catch the ball, cover guys coming across, it's not their
Struggle.
game. Yeah, it's not their game. Those are the guys that, you send them one direction and you let them do what they do. But that's kind of what I loved. Like, you could see the guys that are great in coverage. You could see the guys that can you see the guys that's supposed to be in coverage. You can see the guys that's supposed to blitz. You can see everything that you could, like, it's like flavor of the month. That's why I kind of compare it to the receiver class. Like, you could see the bigger guys, the smaller guys, the chunkier guys, the slimmer guys, the guys who are just straight athletes, the guys who are more refined football players, the guys who are technicians. Like, this draft class kind of has it all, and it's really really cool to see. And I think a lot of, again, it kind of puts you on the map where it's like, it's going to be kind of bad because a lot of these guys are going to get pushed down to the later rounds because there is so much quality.
Mm-hmm.
But it also is really intriguing because that means that some of the better teams that really know how to develop young guys are going to get their hands on these guys. And like, these are going to be the guys we're going to be talking about 3, 4, 5 years from now. It's like Pro Bowl caliber linebackers and edges.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Um, yeah, it's a lot of talent in there, man. Like, I saw like a lot of stuff that I really like. I just really I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's the last day of the combine, and
Yeah.
it's gonna just be the secondary corners and safeties and everything. I'm really interested in I want to see the safeties. That's really what I want to see. Like,
Yeah.
Just from more of a bias standpoint, just because I know the Giants have young corners. I know there's rumors of, everybody thinks there's a possibility of us getting Kuda, but I'm just waiting to see, like, if there's a free safety that we can get, like a rangy, ball hawking free safety that we've really been missing on the back end of that defense. Even if there's somebody there in like the third or fourth round, I don't know how the depth is of the free safety position. It's a little hard to say, but that's just one thing I'm really looking forward to seeing how these guys move and looking. Oh, you there?
Yeah.
Oh, man, lost you for a second. At the risk of babbling on, we're gonna cut it here.
Wait, hold on. All I'm gonna say is I think the best part about the safety class is that tomorrow you kind of gonna figure out at least a little bit who's gonna separate themselves as a top safety because a lot of mocks have it either between Xavier McKinney or Grant Delpit. I really hope both guys work out, and I hope God forbid someone pulls a hamstring or anything like that, because I feel like that's a group where it's a cluster and you really need to see something from every single one of these guys to kind of distinguish themselves as the alpha. Because, in the corners, we know Jeff Okuda is the alpha. Like, we know
Yeah.
C.J. Henderson. I'm curious to see Fulton, because a lot of guys are soured on him. Like, I've seen this guy go in as low as third round in some mocks. I'm like, what? This guy was literally the perennial number 2 guy. Now he's getting drafted in third round, which makes no sense to me. So I
Yeah.
think a lot of DBs tomorrow have a lot to prove.
I think there's a lot. I think this draft is going to have a lot of second and third round corners. I think, like I said, I think the main thing for me that I'm going to be looking forward is the safety position, because again, like you said, there's Delpit, who everybody has like the his biggest problem is tackling,
Mm-hmm.
and, and he's not really known to be a ball hawk. Um, and then again, after that, it's like after the first two, who else is there that's really like
Yeah.
really out there at that safety position? Who's gonna, like you said, who's gonna take that step forward away from the group of people and make a name for themselves? So I'm really looking forward to that. Uh, and it's gonna be coming on at 2 o'clock, so we can hopefully get in and get out, watching watch you guys go, post our
Yeah,
reactions and post
for
our
sure.
review, be done. So it's gonna be an interesting last day of the combine. I hope I hope we keep it up. Defense so far has been really good for me, at least in
Stout.
my opinion. I think it's been really
Stout.
good. So
Absolutely.
hopefully, hopefully they end it off well. But we're gonna say goodnight. We're done. Get out of here. Go take some more medicine and pass out. But continue to support us, guys. Check us out. Facebook,
Like,
Instagram,
subscribe, comment,
and
tell us what
subscribe.
we can do
All that.
better, all that good stuff.
Please, share it around. Uh, and that's it. I think we've said everything we're supposed to do. All right, right? Send us
Yep.
money. I don't know. I hope that helps. That'd be cool. All right, man. Everybody, have a
Peace.
good night. See you tomorrow.